Hey, what's going on, guys? Jason here, and thanks so much for stopping by the shop today. So in this video, we're going to be talking about something that I ran into when I was swapping the transfer case out in Dad's Jeep, and that's these. So this is a drive shaft bolt. These things can be a real pain in the butt when they start to round off, and they can be a real pain to remove, especially the ones that are up by the front yoke of the transfer case. Very tight clearance, and you can't really get too much of a tool in there. So I'm going to show you the two methods that I use to pull these bolts out when they get stripped. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, what a pain that was. Alright guys, so I'm under the Jeep here, and there are two different methods that I'm going to show you guys to get these stubborn bolts out. The first one you use if there's still a little bit of shoulder left on the boat and you can still get a really good grip on it. And that is to just take your socket and put a little bit of this valve grinding compound in there. Now this valve grinding compound, it's a gritty, so what it does is it increases the actual friction between the socket and the fastener, and it also takes just up a microscopic amount of room. So you get more friction and you get a little bit less room, and that both together kind of helps you not round off the fastener. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Boy, that's tight. That's on there. Whew. Man, oh man. Somebody got that bad boy on there tight. So, it gripped hard enough to snap the head clean off of it, which we'll just have to use a bolt extractor on that later, I suppose. But, I mean, it held onto the head, right? It didn't strip anymore. So that's got to at least be a small win. I mean, it definitely didn't slip. God, these glasses are driving me crazy, guys. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next method, because we got a couple of those screws too. They're a little bit more worn out and the shoulders are a little bit more gone on, so let's check them. Alright guys, so this is the next method. This is a kind of like a sleeve that fits over top of a bolt head. Now the only disadvantage of this is if you are in really tight clearance, you have to use a wrench that is 2 sizes bigger. So this is an 8mm sleeve and you use a 10mm wrench with it. But one of the cool things about it is it works very well with one of these, your regular old ratchet wrench. So these things are all 12-point, and so is this little thing. So this turns a regular 12-point wrench into a pretty handy dandy bolt removal tool. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright guys, so here's what it looks like with that sleeve installed over the stripped bolt head. And that right there is the bolt that just snapped on me. So no worries there, we're going to have to use a bolt extractor on that. But here's the one I'm going after now, and that's what that Titan bolt sleeve looks like installed. So let's go ahead and get our 12-point wrench, throw it on there, and see what we can do. Alright guys, so we're going to give it the old college try. You got to remember when you're doing these type of bolts and this strap is going to obstruct the head of your wrench, leave that little bolt sleeve just kind of sticking up a little bit. It's got teeth on the inside that kind of bite into the fastener, but I think we're going to be okay here.
A few moments later. More moments later.
You can see there what that sleeve looks like on that bolt. It works pretty good. 2 more to go.
3 weeks later.
All right, guys, so we looked at a couple different methods for pulling out those rounded off drive shaft bolts. The first method that we looked at was valve grinding compound. Now this is equivalent to 120 grit sandpaper, the grit off that. So this not only takes up a little bit of the space if that fastener is worn with that socket, but it also applies friction to the edges of that so that socket isn't as likely to slip. Keep this in your toolbox. You can use this inside Phillips screw heads. You can use this for all kinds of stuff. You can use this as a prophylactic to actually prevent bolts from being stripped off if you choose to. Just go ahead and throw a little bit of this stuff on top of that wrench or in that socket and see what you can do about preventing the thing from happening in the first place. Now the second one we talked about was these. These are our Titan damaged bolt extractors. This is a 7-piece set, goes from 8mm to 14mm. I've only used the 8mm so far. It's worked very well. In the product description here it calls these sacrificial. I've used this about 7 or 8 times now and I've not had any problem with the inside of it or how tight it grips a bolt. It's still going strong, so I don't know how long this is exactly going to last for, but hopefully I'll get some more good service out of this thing and I'll be able to use these ones additionally. I'm just going to put these on a small ring, throw them in the toolbox and be done with them. But so far very impressed with these. They've worked extremely well. I love the fact that it works good with a ratcheting wrench. Makes the job that much more pleasurable, that much more quick. Can't ask for anything more. It's a great tool. So that being said, guys, thanks so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate you watching the video. Please comment, like, subscribe, leave me something down below, and we will see you in the next video.